everyone. Welcome all of you to this Yashaswini and Idol, which means a successful women with inclusivity, diversity, outstanding leadership. So we have today 64th webinar series by Women and Young Members Excellence Committee. And friends, it is our endeavor to serve you the best. And we have also started with mentorship program, and very soon we will be coming out with the mentors so that you can have one to one interaction with the mentors, take their guidance, and have a career growth. So this is an initiative which we have released on 1st of July this year on 70 on the occasion of 77th foundation day of our Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Friends, today we are interacting with all of you, and today 64th series, and with we have Sheetal Bhanushali CA and CA Jil Dedia. So Sheetal will take us through the real estate GST and the RERA requirement to returns. So entire real estate sector GST she will be taking us through in an hour, and everyone knows the soft skills plays very important role in our professional as well as our personal life. And this soft skill over a period of time we have to upgrade our all these skills, and CA Jill Data will let us go through us everything on the soft skills which are very important, which will bridge the gap of in our professional journey. So I welcome Sheetal and Jill for accepting our invitation and taking the session. And we have our all dear four moderators, CA Lapti, Nikita, Dimple, and Himani. So all these are very dear friends who have agreed to moderate this entire session, today's session, taking time out of their journey, out of their busy schedule. So welcome to all four moderators, and I welcome everyone, each one of you, friends. I welcome. I have seen more than 500. Our members have already joined, and by now it is 700 plus members have already joined. So it's a knowledge sharing as well as upgradation of knowledge, which will help you in your professional work, upgrading the knowledge. With these words, I welcome all of you. And friends, if you also want to be part of this webinar, Yashaswini series, please write to us, connect to us, message us, and we will ensure that this is a platform for all my women fraternity from wherever across world you are, whether in India or across world. Friends, come over here. This is a platform to increase your confidence, to share your knowledge. So please come forward. And this is your women committee. This is your women chairperson. With these words, I welcome all of you to this professional journey. And we want to see all of you as your career on the top. Welcome all of you, and over to moderators.
Thank you, Preeti ma'am. I'll quickly take a minute to introduce CA Sheetal Bhanushali ma'am. CA Sheetal Bhanushali is a chartered accountant with 15 odd years of experience and specialized in the real estate sector. She is a fellow member of ICI and DSA qualified. She holds a deep expertise in financial structuring, tax planning, RERA, and GST compliances. Her experience also includes concurrent audits, due diligence, and regulatory challenges, making her a trusted advisor in the industry. So, a very warm welcome, CA Sheetal ma'am. Over to you for the first session.
Yes, Sheetal, please
Thank
take
you,
it
ma'am.
forward.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today. First and foremost, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the Women and Young Members Excellent Committee and its esteemed chairman, CA Preeti Savla ma'am, and vice chairman, CA Ravi Kumar Patwa. for providing such an excellent platform for knowledge upgradation. Your initiative of regular learning and growth within our community is truly appreciable, ma'am. I also thank our moderator for facilitating this session. I'm grateful for this opportunity to present my topic on GST on real estate. Today we are going to discuss about some applicable provisions on GST to the real estate sectors. This is an area that has significant amendments and clarifications, making it vital for us to update it. Many clarifications has been came in 2019, and that was a landmark year for all of us who was dealing in real estate sector. So just allow me 1 minute. Just sharing my screen for further PPT presentation. Just a second. Ma'am, please help me whether it is visible to everyone.
Yes, visible, ma'am. Yes, visible, ma'am.
So, as I discussed in 2019, various notifications has been came with real estate sector to provide such a clarifications which many real estate sector is looking for. Here are some notifications which came in 2019, like changes in GST rates, exemption in TDR, FSI. This all provisions we will discuss in further in detail. Reverse charge on TDR, FSI, time of payment of tax, time of payment of tax, reverse charge in respect of procurement from unregistered supplier, 18% tax rate in respect of shortfall if it is purchased from unregistered dealers, and various other changes has been came in 2019, and the notification of the same has been released on 29th March 2019. So let's be discuss in detail. Specifically in GST, the service is a wide term. Everything is covered in the under the head service. So technically, any transaction in real estate can be subject to GST unless it is specifically excluded. We can discuss what are the inclusions for GST. As per the deeming provisions, any leasing or tenancy establishment license, lease tenancy establishment license to occupy any land or any further letting out of any immovable property or any plant and machinery, all these are covered under GST regime, and GST will be applicable on such services. Construction of complex buildings, civil structure, or any part thereof, including complex and building intended for sale, will also be covered under this regime. There are certain specifications applied for the exclusion. We will discuss in further. See, there are some exclusions in GST. Sale of land will not be covered under the GST regime. So as per Schedule 3, two things are not covered, will not be considered as a supply of goods or services. First, sale of land, and secondly, sale of building. But there is an criteria for that. If there is some criteria that if that building is completed on the first OC, then that after that any sale will be not subject to GST. Just a second. So there is one exclusion that as per Schedule 2, sale of building or civil structure or part thereof before its completion. The sale of apartment building or civil structure or part thereof after its completion or first occupation will not be subject to GST. So meaning hereby is till your first occupation or completion certificate is not received, all the transfers, all the sales, whichever is being done by the builder will be liable for GST. Once this completion certificate or first occupation certificate will be received, after that the unsold flat no GST will be chargeable. So, friends, here we have discussed that after its completion of first occupation. So, it's very important to discuss about what the first occupation is. So, let's discuss what is the first occupation. First occupation is described that if any entire consideration is received after issuance of completion certificate wherever required by the competent authority or after its first occupation, whichever is earlier, till that time GST will be applicable. After that, any sale transactions if arises, no GST will applicable. This clause is vital because it exempts a sale transaction from GST once a project or property reaches a certain point of completion. Because once we receive that completion certificate, we are on a stage of completion, and after that GST will not be arises when we sell further any flats. The phrase after its first occupation is little bit confusion. Like question arises, who occupies? Is it a buyer of that specific apartment or any person occupying any part of the project, or it's still particular to any unit? Is occupation limited to unit being sold, or does it relate to any apartment in the project? So for this lacuna, CBIC circular has been issued which clarified that first occupation means first occupation as per the laws, rules and regulations of the central and state government or other competent authority. So friends, here simply uh, residing and occupying a property is not a first occupation. For this, a specific permissions has to be taken care of. There is one notification issued on 29th March 2019 with respect to the ongoing projects of real estate. Here, builders have got an option whether to opt for the new regime or to opt for the old regime. So there are basic certain principles attached with new regime as well as old regime. So these notifications have clarified everything in detail. So when we look for the ongoing project means the project which is still existed on 31st March 2019, right? So builders have one-time option for ongoing projects. If they opt for new tax regime, new project regime, then they have to go for the 5% rate. So 5% rate will be a without ITC. And if real estate opt for the old regime, then again 12% will be applicable as the existing rate with ITC. Okay, and there are some few provisions which applicable for affordable houses also. So for affordable houses, with respect to affordable houses, there was existing rate of 8%, and as per the new tax, there was 1%. If builder exercise the new option, then the GST rate will be 1% for the affordable houses. See, the option has to exercise by the builders before 20th May 2019. If no option is exercised by them, then compulsorily new scheme will compulsorily apply. This option is only available for ongoing projects. So new projects commencing after 1st April 2019 will compulsorily treated under the new scheme. Here's one definition is being provided for affordable residential apartment, to whom we will call the affordable residential apartment. So for the metropolitan city, it is 60 square meter carpet area, and for other, it is 90 square meter carpet area. If that carpet area is of any particular flat unit, then it will be treated as an affordable housing unit. And the maximum gross amount charged from that unit should not exceed 45 lakhs. So friends, there are some metropolitan cities I have described, Bangalore, Chennai, Delhi. All these cities are metropolitan cities, and for these cities, the carpet area shall be 60 square meter. If your unit carpet area is below 60 or up to 60, then it will be termed as an affordable residential apartment. And if beyond that, then it will be treated as a normal residential apartment. So here is an amount cap is also given, like 45 lakhs should be charges, not more than that for any unit. So friends, here one thing to be noted is whether 45 lakh is all inclusive or only for that particular unit? So the answer is any other amount charged by the promoter for the buyer of the apartment, including preferential location charges, development charges, parking charges, common facility charges, or any similar charges, if any provided by the builder, then all should be inclusive of 45 lakhs. Friends, we are discussing about project. So we just go through what the project is. A project shall be a real estate project or a residential real estate project. So residential real estate project, for real estate project, there is some definition which is assigned in RERA, is applicable here also. The development of a building consisting of apartments, converting an existing buildings or part thereof into apartments, or the development of land into plots or apartments, as the case may be, for the purpose of selling or some of the sale apartments or plot of building, includes the common areas, development work, all improvements and structures thereon, and easement right and appurtenance belonging to. So this is the basic real estate project definition. For the residential real estate project, any commercial proportion in the real estate project is less than 15%, then that residential project will be treated as a residential real estate project. Till 15% commercial, if portion is there, then it's okay. But beyond that, it will not be treated as a residential real estate project. And all the provisions applicable for the commercial units, commercial project will be applicable for such project. Friends, there are many relaxations and provisions beneficial for the real estate developers has been provided for the residential real estate projects. So we will discuss in detail further. Uh, there is one definition of carpet area. Let's look into it. Carpet area shall have the same meaning as assigned in RERA, which provide as a net usable area of the apartment. Whole apartment, whatever the floor area we are using, that will be treated as a carpet area, excluding the area covered by external walls, service shafts, including balconies, verandas, excluding open terrace. This will not be covered under the carpet area definition, but includes area covered by the internal partition wall. Internal partition wall, the area covered by the internal partition wall will covered under this carpet area portion, right? So all this relevance will be get in the further slides. So for residential apartment shall mean an apartment intended for residential use. See here the definition says that the apartment should be used intended for use as a residential unit. You cannot treat the commercial apartment into a residential apartment. Matlab, the intention should be clear that the unit shall be used for the residential purpose only. Apartment shall have the same meaning again as assigned in the RERA, which provides blocks, shops, chambers, godowns, dwelling unit, premises, flat, suite, office, tenement, showroom, units. Everything will be covered under apartment. Um, so here, friends, project-wise accounts, as per the RERA, project-wise accounts should be maintained by the builders and developers uh, to know the exact cost structures, ITC needs, and marketing positioning. For that, it is recommendable that the separate accounting should be done for the project-wise and not as a whole. A project includes all common areas like we have discussed right now, can be residential, project can be residential, commercial, or mixed use. Each registered RERA project is a separate and independent. So for every project, there should be a separate RERA registration by the builder. Project is a core unit for both RERA and GST compliance. Separate books and records shall be maintained project-wise. Now the question is, what is ongoing projects? Because the major amendments we have discussed, which is came on 2019, March 2019, they all say about the ongoing project. So it is really important to understand that what is the ongoing project is. There are three criteria to criteria such project in ongoing project. First, the commencement certificate should be issued by a competent authority before or on or before 31st March 2019. So here again, a government or state government, any body corporate will issue a commencement certificate in this regard, and with addition to it, registered architect, chartered engineer, or surveyor or local body will give certified that the commencement has been done for this project. Uh, Apartment should partly or wholly booked on or before 31st March 2019. Here again, one condition is that it should be partly or wholly booked. So again, we will discuss, there is again a lacuna that to whom we will say that it is booked on or before 31st March 2019. So completion certificate, and again, the completion certificate shall not be issued till on or before 31st March. Once it is completion certificate and has been issued, the project will be treated as a completed project. So this ongoing project definition, it will not prevail in this definition. So second condition is completion certificate should not be issued. And third, the apartment should wholly or partly should be booked before 31st March 2019. See, friends, here one word is written, construction has been started. So here is again to whom we will say construction has been started. So there is specifically written that if any earthwork or site preparation or evacuation of foundation has been started till 31st March, then we can say that construction has been started and it is an ongoing project. And this project will be eligible to opt for whether to remain in new scheme or to opt for the new scheme. See, the apartment booked on or before 31st March 2019 will have meaning if three conditions will satisfy. First, part of supply of construction has a time of supply on or before 31st March. Uh, like construction should be started before 31st March, and for the amount which has been booked for the unit, at least one installment should be credited in the bank account of the builder. See, this is the conditions why has been put, because sometimes builders take amount from the unit holders and criteria and categorize such amount in a loan account. They do not show that it is from the unit sold. So it is a compulsory requirement that the bank account should be credited of the builder for such installment. An allotment letter or sale of an allotment letter or sale agreement should be made on or before 31st March. There are some tax implications we'll discuss if builders opting for old scheme. Then what will be the tax rates and what will be the other relevant provisions? See, here if we have discussed the affordable houses, if builder is making an affordable houses, then 8% tax rate will be the effective tax rate. They have to charge the tax GST at the rate of 8% with ITC. If the under construction residential unit is other than affordable, then 12% with ITC. These all the rates are existing rates before coming the notification in place. So this was the rates which was already applicable for the builders. If they are opting for the old scheme, then these rates will still prevail to them. So 12% for the residential units other than affordable, and for the commercial unit 12% with ITC. So friends, before this new scheme has been came, the old scheme ITC was available to builders and developers, and for every material and input services they are purchasing, they are taking the ITC from the liability. They are offsetting the liability which come on the sale of units. So they are using this ITC on discharging the output tax liability. So ITC, here are some provisions applicable to them. ITC balance as on 31st March 2019 remains intact. So if you are opting for old scheme, then whatever ITC balance you have availed till 31st March 2019 will remain intact, and there will be no need to reverse. And further credit of tax paid on procurement made after 1st April 2019 is available. See friends, here the ITC is not restricted for the builders and developers. Even the government has said that if you are opting for the old scheme, then after 31st March also, from 1st April, if you are taking any other inputs or input services, then also that input tax also you can take as an input credit, and uh, and the credit accumulated till 31st March can be used for output GST payable. So there is no need to reverse your ITC if you are opting for the old scheme. See, as we have discussed, it is written that new purchases of input or input services after 1st April 2019 will continue to earn ITC, and output tax liability can be discharged from the ITC balance. So this scenario basically helps developers to improve their cash flows, because the friends, the input which they are availing is of at higher rates. Like cement they are paying 28%, and other materials also they are paying at a higher rate. And for the sale purpose, like output tax liability will be restricted to the 12%. So there will always be a balance available with them to offset their output tax liability. So this scheme may be helpful for improving their cash flow as well as working capital. So no need to reverse liability in respect of procurement. There is again one provisions applicable for them. Like if they are purchasing any input from unregistered person also, then also they do not need to reverse the they then do not, they have to pay the liability under reverse tax. We'll discuss this provision in again further slide. What if when builders opting for a new tax regime, like new option, so in that they have to pay the reverse charge for the procurement from unregistered supplier also. So there here it is benefit given for the builders who is opting for old tax regime, that they do not have to pay the liability under reverse charge if they are opting anything input or input services from unregistered supplier. We are going to discuss about the tax implication for projects under new scheme. So till now we have detailed discussed about the old tax regime, and now there is new scheme which is applicable for builders and developers who are opting for them. So here for affordable residential houses, they have to pay 1%, but here the major condition applicable is that builders will not be able to take the ITC credit for input services as well as capital goods. So for affordable houses, they have to pay 1%, because here a subsidized rate has been given. So this benefit has been given, and simultaneously ITC benefit has been withdrawn in new scheme. So if the sale of under construction residential affordable houses, 1% rate will be discharged, 1% rate will be applicable. In case of non-affordable houses, 5% rate will be applicable. And again, we have discussed about the RREP project. If the project is RREP, will be treated as a residential project, and still 5% rate will be applicable for this RREP project, and with no ITC. And if it is a commercial unit, commercial project, then 12% tax rate will be applicable. But here proportionate ITC will be allowable. Okay. So no ITC available in case of units sold at low rates, because here low rates has been given, so ITC has been withdrawn as I discussed. And commercial units ITC is available, but only proportionate. See, many times builders make the apartments with a hybrid model. Some are commercial units as well as some are residential units. So if the commercial unit is more than the 15% of the total carpet area, it will not be treated as an RREP project, and it will be treated as a normal project. And for the commercial unit, Builder can take 12% proportionate ITC. But friends, here to take this proportionate ITC, again builder have to separately accounts for every residential expenses as well as commercial expenses they are incurring for developing the project. This separate accounts shall be maintained so that proportionately ITC can be claimed by the builders. Here, reverse charge liability will be applicable. We'll discuss further in detail for the person who is opting under new tax regime. So, friends, no ITC is available in case sold at lower rates, as we have discussed. ITC, if on the ongoing projects, if any builders have taken ITC till 31st March 2019, then they have to reverse such ITC, and then they have to pay if any balance is payable by them. So reversal to be worked out project by C. This scheme is applicable for project wise. Same builders can opt one scheme for one project and another scheme for another project. So reversal to be worked out project wise and to be done before filing of the return for September 2019. No entitlement of future ITC. If any procurement has been done after 1/4/2019, then there will be no ITC applicable for them and they cannot take this such ITC. This ITC shall be properly reported as an ineligible credit in GSTR 3B by promoter, that is builder. Reverse charge liability in respect of procurement from unregistered supplier. So friends, as I discussed that if the builders opt for the second scheme, like new scheme, they have to compulsory procure all its capital goods as well as the input services from the registered person only. And if he fails to acquire such input or input services from the registered person, then the shortfall shall be paid by promoter under reverse charge method. So at least 80% of the total procurement of the total expenses shall be done from the registered supplier only. With respect of cement, it is given that 100% cement shall be acquired from the registered supplier only. If any shortfall arises, then it's a liability of promoter to pay the GST under reverse charge at the rate 28%. So friends, it's a very important provision, and if it is not has been done by builder, then they have to pay the balance GST under reverse charge by the June month of the next financial year. But with respect to cement is concerned, they have to pay monthly. So if there is shortfall in coming month, so by next month, builders have to discharge the liability under reverse charge method. For calculating this shortfall, few services are excluded, like development rights, motor spirit, high speed diesel, natural gas, electricity, FSI. These are few services which has been excluded for calculating this shortfall. So friends, moving forward, there are similar other services has also been provided by the builders, which will be called as a naturally bundled services. If any services like parking charges or external development charges or prime location charges has been charged by builder to any unit holders, then it will be treated as a bundle services, and the same rate which is applicable for the unit, that is 5% without ITC and 12% with ITC, will be applicable here also for such services. With respect to maintenance services, if any promoter is charging from the unit holders until this societies has been commenced, till that time, if maintenance has been received by builders, GST will be applicable at the rate of 18%. So friends, moving forward, there are few provisions with respect to the joint development agreement and very important provisions too. This real estate game is not a small game. So it involves a huge amount of investments as well as planning. Everything is involved in this. So many people will come in picture in this. So here maybe can be scenario that one person owns a land and another person wants to develop a land. So these two persons will jointly draft an agreement called as a joint development agreement, where one person will offer the land and other person will develop such land. So here this is an agreement where two person is making such investment, constructions, and marketing everything cumulatively with the intention to share profit or with the intention to share a land space. So there is a joint development agreement. We can go through it. This is an agreement where this agreement contains few details about the properties, responsibilities of the parties, profit sharing ratio mechanism, how profit share will be done in future. If any dispute will arises, then how this dispute will resolve, and any termination clauses are applicable. So this all things parameters will come under joint development agreement. So friends, this development agreement is a very important concept in real estate sector, and many disputes also arises with respect of this also, if it is not been drafted properly, or it has been any lacuna has been left in that. So there are various type of joint development agreements. If two persons came forward to do any particular thing, whether they can do for the revenue sharing also, when the project will completed, what the revenue will come, they will share according to their ratio. So there is a model of joint development agreement like revenue sharing if they prefer for the revenue sharing, like area sharing if both parties specifically discuss that till specific area one person will take and till specific area other will take. So area sharing model can also be done in joint development agreements, and even hybrid model is also possible. Like some area also one person can take, and another and after completion of project, any if any revenue left with that project, the share can be taken from that revenue as well. So there are few models in which joint development agreements are being taken place. So friends, with this joint development agreement, the landowner will transfer the development right to the developer. So the concept of PDR will come picture here. See, the transfer of development right. Transfer of development right means the supply of development right by the owner of land to the developer. Here, owner of land gives his property to the developer to for the further construction of complex building or civil structure. So here there is a transfer of development right. In GST regime, this development right is taxable under GST. So it is very important to understand this concept. What is TDR, FSI, and lease? Because all these three are covered under GST, and bidder have to pay GST on these services. This will be treated as a services. TDR, this is development right which has been transferred by the owner of land. There is one again concept of transferable development right. See, if any person have any land, and if person have any land, and because of some roads or public purposes, if any such land has been acquired by central or state government in consideration of surrender of any land without any monetary compensation, like government will not pay monetary compensation, but they give a certificate called as development right. It is called as TDR. So they give a certificate that till that permissible floor space index, till that area you can develop, you can even sell to the other person who is in need of that. So government will provide a certificate. This is called the TDR, transferable development right. So this can further be used by himself, who is the landowner, as well as transfer to the other person. Friends, here FSI is also a very great use. This floor space index is also critical urban parameter. This is FSI is a real estate service, a pivotal matrix that defines the permissible extent of construction on a plot of land. So, if any plot of land is there, till what extent constructions can be done? Construction can be done construction can be done, right? So there is one calculation formula is given. With that calculation, a ratio can be derived, and can be determined till what permissible FSI, what is the permissible FSI for that particular piece of land. For example, by using a FSI formula, if one has a bit of land that is 100 square meter and the permissible FSI is 2, so his ratio will be applicable. So 200% on the land that is 100 square meter, that is 200% can be made by the developer. So up to 200 square meter, the constructions can be done. FSI can be used. Then the developer can build a covered area structure of 200 square meter, right? FSI in a construction means understanding the maximum build-up area for a property following the development guidelines and regulations set forth by the local municipal corporation. This helps home buyers as it helps them determine the maximum allowed area for construction in property. It also helps them understand the type of construction that can be done on land. This ensures that home buyers do not end up buying a property that has a less space than that required for this purpose. So it is a clarity for the home buyer also. They are rest assured that till what FSI is eligible for that land, they are getting such land or not. Again, a long-term lease is a concept where 30 years or more, if any property has been given on lease, it will be treated just like a sale. And all the provisions which is applicable for sale will also be applicable on long-term lease. So therefore, FSI transfer under long-term lease is also treated as a transfer of right in land. GST implication will be there because it will be treated as a sale, just like a sale. And if any TDR is transferred, it will also treated like a sale or transfer of development right. So here GST rate is 18% under RCM method. We will discuss further in detail. So friends, the most important provision is GST on TDR, FSI long-term lease before 1st for 2019. So before amendment came in place, the liability was of landowners under the forward charge. But once the amendment came, the liability came to the builder, the promoter, who is developing such building under reverse charge. There is one exemptions. There is one exemption applicable for residential apartments, like TDR, FSI, and lease. If transferred for the construction of residential unit, it will be exempt. But there is one conditions linked with it, that uh, if any units has been unsold till the date of issuance of completion certificate, then on that units the TDR, FSI will be applicable. Till that time, the units which is already sold before this first occupation or completion certificate, that will be excluded from the TDR and FSI, and balance unsold units will only applicable for TDR and FSI rates. So here time of supply is important. Here developer is transferring the TDR. So time of supply will be the issuance of completion or first occupation. Person who is liable, the promoter, developer who is developing this unit will be liable for GST under RCM method, and the value of TDR will be determined nearest to the date of transfer. If any units has been sold, then that value will be treated as a value of FDR and FSI. There is one cap applicable for the value of tax, like lower of 18% of value of TDR, FSI in proportion to the carpet area of such unsold flat to the total carpet area of residential flats, subject to 1%, 5% of value of unsold unit. So here calculation has to be done, like total valuation shall be done for the TDR and FSI. On that valuation, 18% rate, whatever the amount, subject to 5% of the unsold flats remains after the OC or CC. Whatever unsold flat has been remained, that units shall be taxed at 5%, and both shall be taken into consideration, and minimum of 2, the value will be the amount that needs to be paid by the developers under reverse charge for the purpose of TDR and FSI transfer. Here here one more things are come in picture, like when the upfront, if any TDR and FSI has been transferred for the upfront payment, then the value of monetary consideration has been paid will be considered as a valuation for TDR. And if it is on area sharing basis, the value of similar apartment charged by the promoter from the independent buyer nearest to the date of transfer will be the valuation for the TDR, FSI, and lease. If it is on revenue sharing model, then monetary consideration paid to the landholder as a revenue that will be treated as a valuation for the TDR and FSI. Promoters need to pay under RCM method. See friends, if the TDR, FSI and lease has been transferred for the construction of commercial apartment, then there is no criteria of unsold unit. Whatever units has been sold or unsold as on the date of completion, whole will be covered under this GST regime, and there is no specific exemptions applicable for this commercial projects. So upfront payment, when the monetary consideration has been involved, the valuation is simple. Whatever the monetary consideration has been received by the landowner, that will be the valuation. In case of area sharing, again the value of similar apartment charged by the promoter from the independent buyers will be taken as a valuation. And if it is a revenue sharing, then monetary consideration paid to the landowner as a revenue share. Whatever the amount has been paid as a monetary consideration will be the valuation. And here, straightforward 18% will be applicable. Friends, here the time of supply will be, in case of residential projects, will be the time when this OC will be received by the developer. Before amendments, the GST was payable by the landowner who is transferring the TDS rights to the developer. Same provision will be applicable, but it will be the liability will be discharged by the landowner and not under the developer. See, if residential or commercial apartment is there, then the valuation of development right will be same to the similar commercial apartment. And if it is the residential apartment, then development right shall be then the unsold units which is remain on the date of OC, getting the OC completion certificate. On that unsold units only, two criteria will be applicable, whether it is 18% of TDR or FSI or 1% of land or value of unsold unit, whichever is less will be the valuation for GST of TDR and FSI. Friends, if developers have certain flats on area sharing model, and if developer sale this flat, then GST will be applicable at 5%, 12% as and when applicable for the regime they have opted. ITC will not be applicable. But if this apartment is sold by landowner of the area which he have got, then again he can also sell to the independent party, and for that he can claim ITC whatever he have paid to the developer as a GST. For selling such apartments, he can claim such ITC from that. As we have discussed, GST on transfer of development rights. Landowner transfer development rights to developers. Landowner receive consideration in the form of revenue share. If the model is revenue sharing, we can discuss that whenever the landowner receives the revenue upfront or any monetary consideration upfront, then the time of supply will be the date or agreement which has been done, the date when this revenue has been acquired by this landowner or has been monetary consideration has been received by the landowner. That will be the time of supply. See friends, here is one lacuna, one interpretational is there. Implication of development right transfer on or before 31st 3 2019 for which revenue share received on or after 1 4 2019. See, there are some cases when for the ongoing projects development right has been transferred before 31st March, but this revenue has been shared. This revenue has been received by the landowner after 1 4. So here, what will be the treatment? If it has been transferred prior to 1 4 2019, then in such cases the benefit which has been benefit exemption which is applicable post April 2019 will not be applicable, and GST liability arise based on the time of supply rules applicable to the development. So it will be treated as development right has been already been transferred prior to 1 4 2019, and in such case no reverse charge will be applicable, and the landowner have to discharge the liability under forward charge. See, friends, there are some again misunderstandings with applicable with joint development agreements when there is a revenue sharing model. See, revenue sharing model, what say, whatever the profit and loss the project derives will be shared between the landowner as well as the developer. So here what will be the amount on which the FD on which the taxations can be taken valuation purpose, because revenue will be come to known at the end of the project. So here there is disputes or there is a misunderstanding provisions applicable here. So for that to determine the taxable value, these two practical approaches are applicable: provisional valuation based on agreement and deferred tax payment until actual revenue is known. So friends, if according to first option, provisional accounting has been done by the developers, and provisional estimated figures of sales and input expenses has been derived, and after that provisionally revenue is determined and which is shared by both of the parties, and balance if left at the time of the actual determination, if any balance is left, then they settle by taking the debit note or credit note. The second option is also available to defer the tax payment until actual revenue is known. So in case of the revenue sharing model, until and unless the revenue is ascertainable by both the parties, till that time payments can be deferred, and after once the revenue is determined, accordingly shares are transferred, and this TDR valuations can be determined on that. So for all these inputs, you have to, whichever ITC is ineligible, you have to accurate report in GSTR 3B and RCM register. I have time more or hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have time? How much time I have left?
Just hold on, ma'am. I'll just. Yes, ma'am. Your time is.
Can I take more 2 to 3 minutes?
Sure, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can.
See, again, the value of supply of services of joint development. And see here, the valuation is biggest criteria. So for the valuation of the services of transfer of development right, how we can determine this valuation? So for that, promoters can consider it as a equivalent or deemed to be equivalent to the value of similar apartments charged by the promoter from the independent buyers near to the date on which such development right or FSI is being transferred to the promoter. For such area which has been transferred to the this promoter, the area has been transferred to the landowner. That area, that valuation is determinable on the basis of the similar apartment charged by the promoter from the independent buyers. See, if landowner himself selling apartments before cancellation, again we have discussed this. if they are selling the apartment before the completion, they can take the ITC of the amount which has been paid by their own flat. If their flat if the developer has paid ITC on the flat of landowner, so that ITC can be taken by the landowner for the further sale in outright market. So he can take the ITC here, and there is no provision for refund. The only option is to see here one confusion arises, like the date on which the promoters need to discharge the liability is the date of completion certificate received by the project, right? So if the landowner sales apartment before the completion, then till that time promoters have not discharged the GST liability. So how he can take the ITC? He have to pay the ITC before that, and similarly promoters have not discharged the liability, so he will not be able to claim the ITC of the GST which has been charged by the promoter under reverse charge. So here there is one option available for them, is to raise tax invoice by promoter developer in respect of apartment which the landowner promoters intend to sell before OC. Matlab they have to raise a tax invoice, and once the tax invoice has been raised, it will be treated as a sale, and then the promoter have to pay the tax GST on the sale component. So ultimately the GST will be discharged by the promoter, and likewise he can claim the ITC claim. ITC claim by the landowner can be taken. If any cancellations of apartment has been taken place, then again ITC can be then again GST can be reversed by the real estate developer. Here, if any charges has been collected by the developer on account of any forfeit or any cancellation charges has been collected, then the same rate will be applicable, that is 5%, which is whichever is applicable for the units, and not at 18%, because it will again be considered, it will not be considered as a separate supply. So as per the CBIC circular has been clarified that facilitation supply of allowing cancellation of an intended supply against payment of cancellation fee or retention or forfeiture of any part or whole of the consideration or security deposit in such cases should be assessed as a principal supply. Hence, whatever the rate is applicable for the principal supply, like 5% or 12% or 1%, as we have discussed, the same will be applicable for this cancellation charges also. So, refund of GST on cancellation of apartment is possible if the application has been made within 2 years by the purchaser. So, here I come up the end, and thank you so much.
Ma'am, we have some questions for you. So one of the audience is asking, does GST apply on society for providing its land to developer for redevelopment purposes? What will be the basis or value on which GST has to be paid by the society?
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
Yes, sure. Does GST apply on society for providing its land to developer for redevelopment purpose? What will be the basis or value on which GST has to be paid by the society?
Here, GST will be paid by the developers, by the promoter who is developing the society. The TDR FSI rights will be transferred by the society to the developer. And on such TDR rights, FSI rights, promoter have to discharge the liability under reverse charge. Okay, so basically the rate applicable is 18% for such TDR and FSI transfer, but there is exemption given for real estate, for the residential real estate project, where up to till the completion of the till the completion OC or CC is received, whatever the units remains unsold, on that particular units only you have to discharge the TDR FSI liability, and the units which has already been sold during the meanwhile, so on that no GST needs to be discharged. Only the unsold units which remains unsold as on the date of occupation certificate on that unsold unit only, these promoters will need to discharge the liability under reverse charge. So society need not to pay any tax.
Okay. One more
Is
question,
that
ma'am.
clear?
Are maintenance services or parking charges included in cost of flat?
Maintenance services is a different services which is provided by the builder till the society is being created. Once the society is being created, all the handovers has been done by the builders to society. After that, maintenance will be charged by the society and not by the developer. Till that time, maintenance will be charged at the rate 18%. And this parking charges and other charges will be treated as a bundle services, so it will be charges at the rate which is actually the units has been charged at the rate of 5% or 1% or 12%, as and when the option has been available by the promoter developer.
One more question, ma'am. In case of REP project, residential commercial, GST at the rate 1% on residential units to be paid in cash or ITC balance can be used for it.
No, here if you opt for the new scheme, all the ITC balance you need to reverse first of all. And then you have to pay a reduced rate, that is 1% for the affordable houses, 5% for the RRP projects, where 15% less components of commercial unit and 12% of commercial units. So you have to pay upfrontly, no ITC is available for that because it is already a reduced rate. And if any ITC is available till 31st March 2019, that ITC you need to reverse.
Okay. One more question, ma'am. Where the project is not approved, WHT is the GST liability to the landowner. Or sorry, what is the GST liability to the landowner?
Ma'am, repeat question please.
Where the project is not approved, what is the GST liability to the landowner?
Project is not approved.
Yes.
If the project is not approved, then it cannot be treated as an ongoing project, and it will be treated as a new project only, and similar provisions which is applicable for the new project like subsidized rate will be applicable here, and no ITC will be available.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
I would like to thank CA Sheetal Bhanushali ma'am for such a great insight onto the topic of GST in real estate sector. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable knowledge and your time. I
Thank
would
you, ma'am.
also thank to our support team, Women Empowerment Committee for taking such beautiful sessions on every Wednesday. And I would also thank to our listeners for being patient and good listener. Thank you so much once again to one and all. Thank you so much.
Dimple ma'am, you can start.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to read profile of CA Jill Dedia. Jill Dedia is a seasoned chartered accountant with specializing in capital market advisory and capital market IPO advisory and capital market readiness. She leads clients training on financial software and automation, driving digital adoption. She is passionate about soft skills, communication, and mentorship. Apart from work, she enjoys badminton, writing, traveling. Her mantra is do good and feel good. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimple. I'll just share my screen and start with the session. Let me know if my screen's visible.
Yes.
It is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Just a second. I'm facing some issue. My screen's visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay, okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I am CA Jill Dedia, and I am so excited to be here with all of you today. It is truly an honor to be here today, and I would like to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to Preeti Savla ma'am and the Women and Youth Members Excellence Committee of ICAI. Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be a speaker on such an esteemed platform. And I'm deeply thankful for the chance to share my thoughts and connect with a community that is so passionate about growth, excellence, and empowerment. It's a privilege to contribute to a forum that is shaping all of our futures. So let's dive in and start the session. So, as fellow chartered accountants, I know we often talk about numbers, audits, and balance sheets, right? But today, let's talk about something just as important, yet often overlooked. That is us, our growth, our mindset, and the skills that truly set us apart, right? So, this session, guys, is not going to be about slides. It's going to be about you, your journey, and how to show up as your best professional self every day. So, this session is going to be a mix of reflection, quick tips, and chat based interactions. Okay. So I am going to put my 100% effort in this session, but here is a request to all of the audience as well. I am going to ask you a few set of questions in between. It's a humble request if all of you can reply to those questions in the chat box. I know that you all of you will do that and support me with the session. So after this session, you leave not just more aware, but more equipped. So let's dive in. So to start up this, I'm going to take up a warm-up activity. So the first question for you all is on your screens. If you had to describe yourself professionally in just one word, what would it be? The chat is all yours. Please reply in the comments. Nikita, I would like you to tell me all of the answers which are coming on the chat box.
Yes, ma'am. Ambitious.
Okay. And
One reply only. Currently.
only one person has replied. What are the others doing, guys? Come on, put your answers in the chat. Any other reply?
No, yet not.
Not yet. Okay. So, okay. So someone has replied ambitious. Some of us might say that, people think that we are reliable or you're adaptable, all of that, right? So, but this, you are describing yourself professionally, right? Here's a quick challenge. Does your team or client also describe you in the same word? Do they feel that you are really dependable or you are reliable? I know definitely most of us are, but does your team also feel the same? So that's what today is about. We are going to close this perception gap today. So before diving deep into the session of what these soft skills are, we really need to understand why we require these skills and the importance of it. Okay. So why these soft skills matter for
Ma'am,
CAs? Yes.
reply of ingenious, eager, curious, hardworking,
Oh,
smart,
oh, okay.
patient.
Okay. Acha, so next time we should wait for a longer time, I think, for replies. I'm sorry. Okay. Dimple, there's some disturbance from your end. Dimple, can you please mute your mic?
Sorry.
Okay. Okay, so I was saying that why these soft skills matter for CAs, right? So in our profession, we're taught IFRS, Ind AS, tax, audit. But what is less discussed is how to deal with a tough client, right? How to say no, or how to confidently speak in a room full of seniors. As you can see on your screens, that Harvard research shows that 85% of career success comes from strong soft skills and 15% depends on your technicals. But I know all of you will not agree to this because since our profession is so tough, I know chartered accountants can't just focus 15% on technical skills, right? Technicals are our foundation. Okay, it is what we are, it is our breadwinner every day. But just imagine the impact that we can create by a perfect blend of technical skills and soft skills. Okay, technically we are very sound. Just imagine if we also improve, or if we spend some time on improving our soft skills, our profession can be truly unbeatable. So if we truly spend some time on improving our soft skills can help us influence without authority at our workplaces. Okay, now imagine you are a freshly qualified chartered accountant in a large firm. Okay, you're not a manager yet, of course you're a fresher. So you have started from an associate or an assistant manager's position. Okay, but you spot a critical error in a senior colleague's file. Okay, so do you freeze? Do you stay silent? Or do you confidently approach them? Respectfully explain your point and convince them to recheck it. You know, even that takes courage when you're starting off your career. I have been there, done that. I'm speaking out of my experience. Or consider handling pressure with grace. You know, there are tight deadlines for us, and we've all been there, we've all handled pressure, we've all seen that. Okay, so the ones who stand out during these times of pressure aren't the ones who panic. They are the ones aren't the ones who panic, right? So they are the ones who stay calm, they are the ones who ask the right set of questions and keep everyone focused. That's emotional intelligence. Then there's also something called as building trust. When you're working with a client or your internal team, maybe people work best with those they trust, right? So trust is built by listening or being dependable, showing empathy when someone's struggling. It's that human touch in the professional world, basically, you can say that. And finally, being seen as a leader even without the title. So, see, take an example like maybe you are, so our previous session was on GST, right? So maybe you're leading a GST implementation or helping juniors during a busy season. You don't have that manager tag yet, but you take that initiative to help others, okay? You collaborate with people, you have that problem solving attitude, okay? So that makes people look up to you, okay? That's leadership, and that's one of the most important soft skills. Once again, I want all of you to be glued to your keypads. And the question is on your screen. Have you ever felt your message didn't land well, even though your content was spot on? Okay, you can reply simply with a yes or a no. So the chat is all yours. Nikita, please tell me what the audience replies. The question is on your screen, guys. I'll wait for a 2 seconds more than the last time. You have to reply with a yes or a no, whatever you feel. Any response, Nikita?
Technical thing, can you please see, is this chat able, as I'm finding in questionnaire that I'm not able to find chat.
And they are no and sometime.
Sorry? Yeah, no and sometimes. Just now. Ma'am, two
Yes.
replies have came. One is no and one is sometimes.
Okay, okay. Right. So, all of us have been in our careers where sometimes, we had all the concepts in our mind, but we just couldn't explain it well. So, today we are going to change that. Okay. So, moving on to the first and the most important soft skill, that is communication. So, the most important rule of communication is clarity. You have to be clear in what you communicate. So, communication is not about how much you know, okay? It's about how well you make others understand. Good communication isn't about being impressive, it's about being understood. If your stakeholder doesn't get what you're saying, I think the value of all your technical brilliance is going to be somewhere lost, right? Now, why does communication matter so much for us as chartered accountants? Because CAs deal with complex data and concepts every day, right? But clients and the C-suites people, especially the boards, don't have time to decode that complexities, right? That is why they hire chartered accountants. And that is where clarity and communication steps in. Okay. So when you are clear, you can speed up action. When you are clear about the concept and you're clear in communication, you can easy the task for them. Okay. But when you're not, you create doubts and delays. So for communication and for clearly communicating, there are broadly three most important things. Okay. Firstly, you have to prioritize clear communication over trying to sound impressive. Okay. Clarity is the only key in communication. You have to lead with outcome. Start with the desired outcome, not the intricate details. This helps people understand the bigger picture before you deep dive into the specifics, right? And one more important rule about effective communication is effective communication means you have to choose your words carefully and being mindful of your audience. You don't have to use any hi-fi language or any big jargons, okay, to impress the other person or to impress your senior or boss, whatever. You have to just use plain, simple English. You have to adapt your tone and words to their level of understanding. Just that's it. Okay. Now, I would like to share one thing that happened at my workplace a few days back. So, one of my colleague had sent a very detailed 20 slide pitch presentation to our partner, and we had a team meeting following that. Okay. So, the partner just asked my colleague who had prepared that presentation to summarize the pitch quickly for him, and my colleague went blank. He really couldn't articulate it nicely, and there was some kind of awkwardness that took over the meeting, And then after a few minutes, maybe the partner asked someone else to summarize it for him. That day something struck me, and I understood that how clarity in thought and articulation is so important for us. We work so hard, like we pull an all-nighter, and we put in all those extra hours in our work. But when it comes to justify that work, when it comes to explain it to someone in the right set of words, we are not able to do it. And that is where someone else comes in and takes away all the credit. So, one more question for you guys is, what's harder for you, speaking or listening? Now, here you have to just type an S or an L. Okay, I think all of you can do this. Just a single word. If speaking is harder for you, then type S. If listening is harder for you, then type L. After that, we will move towards a solution for this. Nikita, over to you. Nikita, do let me know if there are some responses in the chat.
As
Yes, Nikita, tell me.
Hello, ma'am, I'm audible.
Audible. Tell me if there are some responses in the chat, please.
Yes, speaking, listening, nothing. Speaking is more challenging than listening. Both.
Right, right, both. So we have mixed reaction over here, guys. Okay. So whichever you've picked, okay, speaking or listening, I think your ability to be heard is deeply tied to how confident and present you are in the room. So let's talk about that next. That is confidence and presence. So the rule of being confident is to be poised. Confidence obviously comes from well preparation. We know that when we are well prepared, we are confident, and we are confident about what we speak also, right? And what we bring to the table. Confidence isn't about just knowing everything, right? It's about believing you belong in the conversation. It's about being seen, heard, and remembered. Okay? You don't need to be loud. You just need to be clear, confident, and calm. Now, why does confidence and presence matter to us as chartered accountants? So, you might have attended various board meetings or meetings where you have all the CFOs or your partners, senior partners. There is one common thing in all of these meetings is people only listen to the ones who look and sound composed, who look poised, okay, who are well put together. So as we're discussing this confidence topic, one thing pops up to me. Last week during a client call, we had a client call last week, and one of my juniors, uh, he whispered something. He whispered a solution to me, and there was a problem which we were discussing basically with the client and our office team. So that junior quietly whispered something in my ear. I told him, I am not going to say this. You have to share. That is your solution. You have to unmute your mic and you have to come up with that. So he was a bit nervous. Then he nervously unmuted his mic and he said he put his point forward to the client. And the client actually said that that's a great point. And from last week, I think his confidence has skyrocketed. So one moment has changed, I think, how he saw himself, how and now how he will see himself in future also. So that is what confidence does to you. You have to just speak once. At start, you might feel the fear, but once you do it, once you bring it in practice in your daily life, I think that fear goes away, and what remains is only confidence. So there is one tip which I will like to give all of you, as I think majority of us are in corporates. You have to always prepare a go-to phrase. So decide on at least 2, 3 points you are going to say in the meeting. Note that down in your diary before the meeting starts. And if someone else, and sometimes it might happen, you have noted down all those 2 points, and someone else only said it before you. No problem, you can still bring the attention onto you by saying that, yeah, as mentioned by XYZ person earlier, I too have a similar opinion, or might be I have a different opinion about a certain matter which was being discussed. But just because somebody else has said your point and now that point is gone, don't stay quiet in a meeting. You have to speak up. If you stay quiet all the time, you are going to go unnoticed. So there is one more question for you guys on the screen, which is, have you ever avoided speaking in a meeting despite knowing the answer? It is a very simple yes or no question. Please, guys, I would request all of you to come to the chat and reply. Have you ever avoided speaking in a meeting despite knowing the answer? Yes, Nikita, any responses?
Yes, yes,
People are replying yes.
yeah,
Okay. I think, yeah.
never
Good.
so many times,
Sorry?
so many times.
So many times, yes. I've also been there when I started my career. So, yes, I know it has happened to the best of us. I swear it has happened to all of us once in our life. So, why does this hesitation comes? Why do we hesitate to speak in a meeting even though we know all of it? Because I think it is how people respond, how will the people respond to it, or by the fear of being judged, especially when you are interacting in a call where there are more than 10 people or 15 people or 20 people or maybe 50 people. So now the next thing which we are going to see is stakeholder management. What do you understand from the word stakeholder management, guys? I think it is nothing but people management. It comes from understanding what others truly value. At workplace, whenever you go to a client place or whenever you go to your office, you don't have to just build transactional relationships, right? You have to build genuine relationships. That is where, from the word of mouth or from your good relationship with the client, you'll get extra business, you'll get extra work. Right. So different people will want different things from you all the time. Okay. The promoters, the owners of the business obviously will want speed. They'll speed. They'll say that, hurry up, hurry up. We want this to be done tomorrow, by today. We'll have all unrealistic timelines. But if you have good relationships, you can make the opposite person understand your point of view and you can come to a middle ground. Now, why does stakeholder management matter so much for us as CAs? Let me tell you that. So we deal with various stakeholders every day. Okay. If we speak to everyone the same way, someone's bound to tune out. Okay. Your ability to adapt to that person you're speaking to is going to be your influence multiplier all the time. Let me tell you how I do it at my workplace. So, as you guys know that I am into IPO advisories. So during one of my IPO deals, I had to manage very strong personalities. The promoter, so basically the business was promoter owned, and the promoter wanted everything to be done yesterday. That means he wanted everything to be done very, very quickly. Okay. And the bankers wanted all the numbers, all the figures right. And the legal counsels, if you have ever interacted with them, you know how airtight compliance they need, right? Our team had to manage it all, and the timeline was so strict. So our team had to manage it all and align all these requirements from various stakeholders and run the deal swiftly and timely. We did it because we understood the crux of what stakeholder management is. That helped us move forward and achieve the timelines. So I'm going to give you a quick tip here. So before every key meeting or email, ask yourself that what this person's biggest concern is right now. What is the problem you are going to solve for your stakeholder? For your stakeholder can be your client, or it can even be your manager, your boss, anyone. Okay. Then accordingly, you can frame your message. So there is one more Q&A for you on the screens. One word to describe your toughest client or manager. The chat box is all yours, guys. Please use it. One word to describe your toughest client or manager.
Does not want to listen us.
Okay.
Impatient.
Impatient. Oh, that's very true. Anything else?
No, that's not.
Okay. We'll wait for a couple of few seconds and then we'll start. Guys, please
Yes.
reply.
Yes. Reply. Anger. Rude behavior.
Okay.
Robin Hood.
Sorry?
Sensitive. Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Who is the one who's replying Robin Hood?
Third.
Khadus. Oh, okay.
Demanding. Arrogant.
Demanding, right. Okay. Are we done? Done? You have anything else?
Yes. No.
Okay. Okay. So all of your answers were something like very demanding, khadus. And sometimes I think chances have you might have been in such places where, just to avoid the conflict with this difficult or tough manager or client, you might have just said yes. ठीक है, कर लूंगा यार, कर लूंगा मैं. ठीक है, you might have just said yes out of you don't have the wish or will to say yes, but you have said yes just to avoid that conflict with that difficult manager or client. Okay. So here is where our next soft skills comes in, that is assertiveness. Okay. Assertiveness means you have to be firm with grace. Assertiveness is saying what needs to be said with clarity. There is no conflict, no ego over here. You have to put your point forward with clarity. Okay. It is assertiveness. Sometimes people mix assertiveness for aggression. They say, this person is saying to me, this person is saying no to me upfrontly. No, that's not the case. It's not always about saying no, right? It's about being clear of what you can do and holding that boundary respectfully. So assertiveness basically allows you to draw that line, draw that boundary, but with respectfully and professionally. And why does assertiveness matters to us so much as chartered accountants? Because often all of you know that we have so much of pressure, we deal with deadlines, and we say yes to almost everything, and then that leads to burnout, right? And saying no too harshly can hurt relationships, can also, your client might feel bad, might not give business to you once again, or something like that. But assertiveness strikes the right balance over here and builds that respect. Now imagine if a client asks you a 24-hour turnaround and the work is such that it could easily take 2-3 days, right? For the team to complete the job. So instead of rejecting it outright, obviously if you reject it outright, the client will go somewhere else. You can't do that also. You have to retain the client, you want the business. So instead of rejecting it outright, you can explain what could be delivered by when and why. You can give them a detailed planner. Okay, by tomorrow I can give you this much. By day after I can give you this much, and we can finish the job. So the client will actually appreciate your honesty, and that way you can buy more time for your team as well. So there is this small tip I would like to give you guys. You can always approach your client and say, here's what I can do, boss, and here's why I can do it. It will work wonders. Trust me, I have done it. It will definitely work for you as well. One more question on the screen is, have you ever just said yes just to avoid a conflict? I am going to make it simple for you guys. I know all of us have. All of us have said yes some or the other times just to avoid a difficult person. Okay. And we have agreed just to keep things smooth. But in today's fast changing world, what we really need is the ability to adapt gracefully, confidently, and quickly. Because soft skills aren't just about saying the right thing, they're about shifting gears when the situation changes. Okay. And that brings us to our next core skill, that is adaptability. Okay, so the ability to stay agile, not rigid, in the face of change is known as adaptability. So I think in this changing world, in the world of AI, ChatGPT, and everything, adaptability is going to give you a bigger advantage than anything else. How quickly can you adapt and move forward is going to be the next game changer. Adaptability is your ability to stay effective as things evolve, right? So whether it's a new tool, whether you have to learn a new tool, whether you have to learn a new AI, whether it's a new boss, also with people, you have to adapt people also, right? Not just tools and new softwares, but you also have to adapt a new boss or a whole new role, right? Whenever you shift your companies, or suppose you get promoted in your own company, you have to adapt to that new role as well. Why does it matter in our case so much? Because the finance world is evolving rapidly. All of us know this. And with the emergence of AI as well, the things are rapidly growing as fast. The professionals who are going to grow along are the ones who are going to be there in the race till the end. Now, let me tell you about me. I had started from stat audit and then I moved to consulting, right? I was scared. To be very honest, I was scared to move to consulting. It was uncomfortable also. But that time I thought that let's give it a chance, right? And trust me, I'm saying this that it opened up growth I couldn't have predicted. Before I shifted to consulting, before I shifted to IQ advisory and capital markets, I never knew that, the world here is actually very different. The opportunities are very different. And I couldn't have predicted this if I wouldn't have adapted the change in my roles, right? Same way, this was my example. Same way, if we take an industry-wide example, when India's was newly introduced, was newly launched, okay, many CS struggled. We all were like, oh my God, how will we do this? Such a big drastic change in the financial reporting. But those who embraced it, those who thoroughly learned India's, I think they have become an experts today in that space. So adaptability, it's all about adaptability at the end, okay? Adaptability is going to create opportunities you can't even imagine, guys. One small tip over here, which I'll give you is always, whenever some new things come in front of you, think that how can I learn from this? Can I give it a try? And then give it a shot. I'm sure, even if you don't find it that interesting later on, but I'm sure you learn some or the other thing, definitely, if you give it a try. Okay, another quick Q&A on your screen is, what's one belief, and I want all of you please to reply to this. This is an interesting one. What's one belief or habit you had to unlearn in your career? We learn many things, but unlearn क्या किया है आपने अपने career में से? What's one belief or habit you had to unlearn in your career? Please reply in the chat. Any responses, Nikita?
High high level of English is
Not much useful.
not much useful, concise and precise writing.
I think people are replying, but it's taking some time to come up on your screen, maybe.
No, actually they are replying in a questionnaire, so they have to type membership number, name, and
Oh,
all
oh, oh,
details.
oh. Okay, okay,
So
okay.
that's why it's taking. Dimple, can you see in the chat any reply?
No, I was wondering where I can see, but I have not find out where I can see.
Yeah, okay. Using social media often, be too polite,
Okay.
gi-
Okay.
give up ego, humbleness, keeping self on the first place always.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, okay. So thank you guys for sharing. So it's powerful to reflect on what we've unlearned, right? We learn a lot of things, but we unlearn, I think, few things. And it's powerful to reflect on time and again what we've unlearned. Because I think real growth often starts from the things you unlearn. And if you noticed, many of those habits we unlearned, like reacting too fast. Some of us have habit, they don't think before reacting; they just react. And some of us also avoid feedback. We think that feedback is criticism, but often that's not true. If you think feedback as a constructive one, you will definitely, and if you take that on you, you will definitely see some changes in your personality. Okay. So all of these, like reacting too fast, avoiding feedback, all of these are deeply connected to one thing or ability to, that is our ability to understand and manage these emotions, which brings us to our next essential skill, that is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is that quiet strength, I think, that shapes how we lead, how we respond, and connect in every part of our career. So, emotional intelligence is about choosing your response, okay, and not being ruled by the moment. Suppose that in some heat of the moment you react. No, you don't have to react. You have to choose how to respond in any setup, may it be your professional life or your personal life. You always have to think and then respond. EQ is going to be your ability to recognize emotions in yourselves and others and respond in a way that builds trust instead of tension. Your EQ is such an important thing, and it definitely plays an important role. You know, the way you react sometimes gives stress to someone else. We don't have to do that. Our emotional quotient should be so good and should be so high that people feel calm in our presence. Okay, we can build trust with them. And why does it matter so much in our profession? Okay, because we are almost all the time surrounded by deadlines. We have so much of pressure in our work. These things can push our buttons. I'm sure all of us can get hyper, and that is very natural. But when your emotional quota helps you stay grounded, create safety, and solve the problems faster. I'll give you an example. So once something happened in our team, and a junior teammate, he had just joined a month ago. He goofed up in a file, and we had a client call, and the call was very critical. We had that call set up in like next 30 minutes, but he had done some mistake. Okay, and I was reviewing that file. So I thought, I actually got very agitated. I got frustrated also. I was like, oh my God, what will I do now? But that time I told myself, wait, you don't have to react. Instead of reacting in that moment, I took a deep breath, corrected it quickly, corrected whatever error he had done quickly, and addressed it with him calmly after the call. I told him after the call, I made him understand after the call. Okay, but not at that very moment. So that day, our client call also, by the way, went very good. And that day, we just didn't fix the error. We built trust, accountability, and loyalty in the team. So that junior till date tells me, "Ke, ma'am, thank you, for handling that situation so nicely, and thank you for whatever mistake I had done, you had corrected that mistake. So thanks for that. And yeah, you have to build that trust and accountability in your team and in your teammates, because that is how you're going to work with them, right? Day in and day out. That is how you will enjoy your work also at workplace. Also, whenever some situations like these come, you have to always ask yourself that what's the outcome I want from this moment? You have to ask yourself, what do I want? I want the file to be corrected, right? So I have to act from that place. If I would have shouted or if I would have done something else, I think my client call also wouldn't have been so good later. So that time you have to always ask yourself, okay, I want this outcome. I want the client call to be good. I want the file to be corrected. Let's react on that first, and later you have to explain whatever the junior you want to explain, right? Okay, so there's a question on your screen again. So before responding, like I said, what's the outcome I want from this moment? You have to ask yourself. So you have to type 1 if you pause before reacting, and you have to type 5 if you're still working on it. I'll type 5 because I'm still working on it. Sometimes I react. So if you react before thinking, you have to type 1. And if you are still working, if you think that sometimes you react, but sometimes you also think and speak, you can type 5 in the chat box.
Five, mostly.
Mostly 5. Okay, good. I'm also in the 5 category, by the way. Sometimes I also react. But yeah, we all are learning. Okay. So now imagine combining this emotional maturity, what we just learned in our previous section, with visibility. That is going to be our next topic, which is visibility and branding. So visibility is all about what do people know you for, right? If people don't know what you do well, they won't think of you when it matters. Visibility is, I'm not saying that you have to show off, right? You don't have to show off. It's just about staying at the top of the minds of the right people and for the right reasons. Why it matters so much in our day-to-day lives as professionals is you can do all the brilliant work, right? But if nobody sees it, no, opportunities will pass by. Visibility helps you own your narrative, it helps you own the work you've done. Okay. And let me tell you about me. At first, I was also very shy. I used to shy away from posting on LinkedIn as well or speaking up in office presentations. But when I started sharing my work and openly expressing how much I enjoy taking sessions like these, like the one which we are doing now, I'm enjoying it. I think something shifted. People began reaching out on their own. That visibility, that visibility really opens up doors for you. You can write everything in the world in your resume, but that will never be enough if you're not visible enough to the external world, right? So, one tip or one takeaway for you here is you have to start speaking up in team meetings. Okay. You can start putting something on LinkedIn, something meaningful, your views or something that has happened with you at workplace. Or you can also take some internal training sessions in your own office. Okay, it can be anything. It can be anything. But you have to be visible. If you are doing all the work, if you're pulling an all-nighter, but you are not there in that meeting or you are not marked in that email for the work you have done, the visibility is gone and the credit is also gone. So you have to be smart. You have to be visible. Okay, so there is no Q&A for this. People will be happy. Okay, guys. So, all right. So let's bring this all together now. So we've explored 7 powerful soft skills. But just like our muscle memory, these aren't built by one session. I'll give you one session and you will be like, okay, now I know all the soft skills. Nah, that's not going to happen. Okay. They are built daily. You have to put in daily action. And the good news is that you don't need a complete life makeover. Start with just one soft skill habit, just one. That's it. So on your screens, you can see 7 small but mighty practices, okay, that can help shape your soft skills. So the first one here is write 5 lines a day for clarity. So it could be about anything, okay? It could, you just open your diary, maintain a diary, start journaling. That will also help you actually, you know. It could be about your day, your ideas, your confusion, anything, or a client update, whatever happened in your day. You just take a pen, take a paper, and write it down. Because how will it help you? Writing will make you think sharper. Okay, you will start catching your own fluff. You'll when you're writing, you'll say, "Oh, I've written this wrong. I've made this grammatical error." You'll acknowledge that, right? And it will help you think sharper, and it will also bring precision in your writing. And what will change when once you start writing, start for a 30-day session, writing non-stop for 30 days. What will change, you know? You'll explain things better to people, you'll speak clearer, and you will also think faster. Moving on to the next point is speak once in every meeting. This is what we discussed some time ago, that you have to speak. To be visible, you have to speak, even if it's a 10-second comment, okay? Even if you're speaking for 5 seconds in a meeting, but speak. You have to show up vocally for yourself, okay? Sometimes great thoughts come in our mind, but we shy away from speaking. Don't do that. No, everybody, you know, always think that, okay, the opposite person is also just a human being. He's not going to eat you up for speaking. Keep speaking. Be bindas. So what changes when you start speaking in these meetings? You start from 5 seconds, you start from 10 seconds, then maybe you speak for 5 minutes also. What changes here is, you know, you stop hesitating and you stop vanishing. People suddenly start noticing you in every meeting. And suppose if in one meeting you're not there, people ask, "Oh, why has Jill not joined today? Why has Nikita not joined today?" People will remember you once you start speaking, right? Moving on to the third one, watch yourself on video weekly. Okay, now this can be a bit awkward because I used to do it, but you have to record yourself. Okay, suppose take any topic, record yourself as if you're explaining it to your audience, and watch it back, and then you'll understand, oh, here I had done some mistake. Okay, this is how you will review yourself. What will change once you record this video and you practice this habit of recording video and watching? You will become aware of how you actually sound. Okay, by the time, if you don't record any video, you will just think, okay, if I record this, I will sound in a certain way, I will do this, I will do that. But no, when you actually do it, you will actually understand where you are going wrong. So this is also a very important thing. Most people don't do it, but I would recommend you to start doing it. Fourth one is ask one person for feedback each month for growth. Okay, choose someone you trust. It can be your peer, your senior, or your junior. It can be anyone. Okay, not necessarily only your peers, your seniors. You can even ask your junior teammates who are working with you. Okay, that one feedback you think I should change in me. So what's that one thing I can do better? What changes? You will build trust and you grow faster than people who guess. Fifth one is read daily. You have to read daily, guys. This is, I think, since we were in junior KG, we are being told that, you know, you have to read. You know, not just to know more, but to even reading helps you to think faster and speak clearer. Okay, you will grow quietly each day and you will not understand that you're growing, but one day you will realize, oh, all of this, you know, what personality has been shaped of you is only because of reading. What will change if you read daily? Make sure you read at least 1 or 2 pages daily. Okay, what will change? You will think sharper. You will have stronger vocabulary. When sitting in a group of people, in a group of professionals, you will have stronger vocabulary and control over your language. Very, very important in personality development. You will have greater empathy towards people. You will have fresh ideas when you read new books. It can be fiction also. You come up with so many fresh ideas in your mind. Okay, your confidence will be boosted, your focus will be improved, and obviously reading is a very good habit for personal growth as well. Then participate in sessions as a speaker. You can even participate in this session, in sessions like these, what we are doing right now for ICI. You can volunteer, right? You can volunteer for team presentations in your offices also. You can reach out to people, express your interest, and share what you know. You know, the stage, we often think, yeah, I'll not get a chance, you know. I don't think so. I stand a chance. I don't know also how to speak. But you never know. You have to reach out to that one right person. And I'm telling you, the stage is often just one message away. You reach out to one right person and you tell that person, okay, I want to speak, I want to do this. Believe me, believe me, the more you speak in such sessions, the less scary it gets. Starting May, I also used to feel like, oh my God, how will I do it? Even before today's session, frankly, I was very nervous, but my heart was still racing and my heart is still racing. but definitely my voice is not shaking. My voice doesn't have that shake because I have done this before, and I have a practice of it. I have a hang of it. So once you start doing it, later on you will understand that, yeah, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Seventh point, share monthly on LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn also gives you a lot of visibility. First of all, first and most important thing is, uh, update your LinkedIn, guys. Update your LinkedIn. Whatever work you are doing, just put it on in your profiles, descriptions, or whatever. Just put it out there and update. Keep your LinkedIn the most updated. Okay. And you can also monthly, I'm saying, you don't have to do this weekly. No. Monthly also you can do, it's fine. You can post a lesson, you can post an insight or a small story that happened on in work. It doesn't have to be fancy. Just real, that's it. Visibility will really build you a strong professional recall. What will change once you start posting on LinkedIn? People will remember your name. Opportunities will find you. Suddenly you will find, oh, 100 people have found me have searched my name on LinkedIn and all of that. People will reach out to you for new opportunities. So keep your LinkedIn well updated. Okay. And so to end this session, I am very thankful, guys. If each one of us can choose even one or two habits, okay, out of these 7 habits I've told you from today and truly commit to them, I think that alone can be a powerful takeaway from this session. Just one habit, 1 or 2 habits. I think that will be a total game changer if we be consistent in applying all those. Yes, so I think I am done. Thank you so much for being a part of today's session. And you guys showed up, you guys reflected, you guys participated, and also thank you for replying on the chat. You've been a lovely audience. And I think that's the first step to growth. Let's stay
Thank
connected,
you.
guys.
Thank you
Thank you.
so
Thank
much.
you
It
so
was a
much.
very wonderful practical session. Hopefully, really well. Ma'am, there is one question.
Yes.
How how can communication skill be used when you are jobless and looking for a job? How can you use soft skills for getting a job?
How can you use soft skills for getting a job? Okay.
Yes.
Very interesting question. So, you're finding a job, right? And you are definitely going for some interviews, you're attending your interviews. You are technically well equipped, obviously, but say, as I told in my session also, all of us, we are chartered accountants, right? Our technical knowledge is unbeatable. All of us have a lot of technical knowledge, but the challenge comes in expressing or justifying or explaining that technical knowledge. Just practice, just stand in front of the mirror and practice that you're giving an interview, practice that you are saying something to the interviewer, practice the concept or practice your intro. If not anything else, just practice how you are going to introduce yourself to the interviewer, right? Just stand in front of the mirror and do that. If you can't record yourself, just stand in front of the mirror. That will also help you.
Okay. How do you speak do well and are also do articulated? How you are do so good?
Sorry, your voice was cracking.
It's a review. Amazing session. How do you speak so well and are also so articulated?
Okay, I speak so well because I've practiced speaking. I was not this since day one. I was also very scared and I didn't have the command over the language as much. But if you work on yourself, I tell you, nothing is difficult. You can definitely try reading as much as possible. You can attend, you can be a speaker in the sessions. Just take up all these initiatives and it is very easy. Once you do it, it's not going to be hard for you as well.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a guide, some books for better communication.
For better communication. Okay, let me tell you. There are many books in the market for better communication. of my favorite, by the way, is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I love that book so much. Obviously, it's not on communication, but I love that book. And there's also one more book I'm recollecting, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I don't remember the author, but this was also a very good book on communication. And also, if you don't want to read books, obviously, I know you want to read books, that's why you've asked me this question, but you can also go to YouTube and listen to TED Talks. That's also a best way and a very good way to uh, pep up your communication.
Yeah. Next question is how do you read so well and who's your mentor?
How do you read so well? And
Who's your mentor?
my mentor. My mentor is I think, my reading and my speaking only. For communication per se, I've just adapted from all the people I have been around in the industry where I work. I see how people react and how people talk, and I take what I want to take from them. The good things I will capture and I will write it down. Okay, I have to next time, he or she behaved in a certain way. I like this. So I take that up in me.
How to stay composed while speaking? I fumble.
Again, this will come only by the habit of reading. You have to read a lot. You have to read a lot, and also you have to practice that reading. Once you practice, start with your friends. Start at home only. I used to, when I was small, I used to talk in English with my dad. I used to speak in a very broken English, but I used to, and he also used to reply to me, but in a broken English only. But I used to make a point that we speak in English. That is how I think I got this command over the language. By the way, to answer the previous question. So yeah, you have to just read, and practice speaking in English. Don't speak in Hindi or something else. No, even with your colleagues or with your friends, make it a point that you speak in English. That is how you will have the command over the language.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was very useful session. Practically, I have to learn many things.
You
Thank
can
you to
connect.
all. Yeah, yes, we can. Thank you to all participants for joining us and giving us our precious time.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.